This is Bouqui'S Place. Welcome to Bouqui'S Place. Sit back, relax, kick back. This is where we give you the side of people you've never seen. In this crazy thing that is happening now, people have lost their identities. They wonder who they are, why they are here, why they are doing what they are doing, because their identities for so long was tied to their job, and now they lost that job. So we bring people that have walked the path that you're walking and are still walking, and they share their testimony. Everybody, man, how you guys doing? They share their testimony. Listen, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be wonderful. Today I have a very special guest. Praiz is in the building, and I know you guys have seen him, MTN, Ambassador, and all that side, and all that stuff, but you've never heard the other side of him. So we're bringing him on this show. Praiz is in the building. We're bringing him on this show today. He's going to share that side of him just to motivate you, to inspire you. So sit back, relax, kick back, take your shoe. Yeah, you can take your shoes off. You're in your house, so it's okay. Take your shoes off, get a glass of water, sit back. Let me invite my special guest. Drum roll for my special guest.
Hey, hi Bouquie.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I am well. I am well. It is
It's
so
so
good to
good.
see you, man.
Same here. So good connecting with you. First of all, I'm a big fan.
Oh,
Right
really?
from way back. Like no lies.
How
So
I am a big fan of you, and that's the
thank
truth.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bouquie.
How are you though? How you keeping safe with this all this craziness going on around?
Well, it's been literally slowed things down, and we can't complain. We're surviving. For me, I've been taking this time to literally have a restart, have to also re-strategize, go back to my drawing boards, and I mean just also recreate. I mean, for me, fortunately, I've had enough or more creative juices flowing this period, so
This season.
I'm taking advantage of it, and I'm hitting the studio. Thank God I have a studio at home, so I'm just always recording, literally always recording till say like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. So yeah, I mean
Did I tell them what you did last night? No. Someone said I thought you cut your beard.
Yo, I was like, my fans, I was like, I'm going to play a prank on them. So I told my friend, I'm like, please, help me Photoshop this picture. I had to look for a picture that
So
I had just having a haircut. So I was like, just take out all this Photoshop out the beards. I want to see what my fans would say. Yo,
what?
everyone was like, no, look. One was like, yo, blocked. Another was like, when you get it back, let me know. I'll follow back. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So
Wow, wow, wow.
I'd quickly post a picture and say, yo, did you really think I was going to cut my beards? Nah, it's the
I
brand.
saw the person look like you. I was like, is that you? Is that not you? But it's all good. It's all good. Welcome to
So,
Bookie's Place. Can you say for me real quick? I am in Bookie's Place.
hi guys, it's your boy Praiz, and I am at Bouqui'S Place.
Yes, 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 yes. So let me just intimate you a little bit. So, a lot of people talk about the awards, the accolades, the
Hmm.
things that are going on, how they win, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
They never talk about the pain, the
yeah,
toil, the strife.
yeah,
And so people bring their dreams, they conceive a dream in their heart, and then they
yeah,
measure it against someone else's finished product. And in their
yeah,
minds, they fall short because they're like, I can never be like Praiz. I mean,
yeah.
Praiz, he was on Project Fame.
Project Fame, yeah,
He did
Project
that,
Fame, yeah.
he did this. I can never be like Praiz. So
Yeah,
you're gonna tell us that side of you just to
yeah,
inspire them, to motivate
is
them, to
there?
let them know that listen, man, Rome wasn't built in a day. Start from the beginning
Definitely.
where you were born and
Yeah,
how you conceived the dream and all the sacrifices, and we'll take it from there.
is there? So, welcome guys to everyone who's just joining us. You're welcome to Bouqui'S Place, and my name is Praiz. A multi-award winning singer. I'm a producer, songwriter. I'm a musician in total. Also a philanthropist. I like to do my best.
Let's
So,
give money away. Now you should have
yeah,
said that. Let's give money away.
I know, right? Yo, so how did my journey start? So first of all, I never thought I was going to do music. I wanted to play football.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I always wanted to play football. Yeah, I mean, I was playing. I played for a club in Kaduna. Um, I was born in Lagos. But my family moved to Kaduna because of my dad's job, and
Hmm.
so I mean, I literally grew up there, school there, and yeah, for me, how music started. I used to play the drums, and before I go into higher institution, I was always in the studio trying to just while away time and not be a useless individual. So
Hmm.
basically, I was playing football. I was also in the studio, working as a studio rat and as a session drummer. So I learned how to produce. Then one day I was like, "Yo, let me see. Please don't let me have your phone in case, your phone in case." So I was like, let me see what it feels like to produce and just record myself. So I produced the song, my first ever demo. I produced
Wow.
myself. Yeah, like the studio is so big. I had to like, when you're recording, you always put a 4 count before you start recording.
Yeah,
So me,
the metronome.
yeah. So like mine, I had to put like 12, and thank God the cord of the headphones were like long, so I had it,
So you
and I said,
run in.
yeah. So I would run in and record myself. So I recorded my first demo. I played it to my friends, and they were like, "Yo, like we never knew you could sing." I was like, "Well, I never really knew I could sing, but I mean, since we're in this environment, let's just take it." So, I mean, they encouraged me to try out auditions, different music shows, and
Hmm.
trust me, name it, any music show that's happened in Nigeria, I praise have auditioned for it. Every
Wow.
yeah, like, and I mean, I would go in, I would sing, nothing will happen. I was like, yo, like, I'm not sure I'm supposed to be really doing this music thing. Let me just continue my football thing. So basically, I was producing, going to play football with the club I used to play for in Kaduna. Then I got into higher institution, and I mean, it was three now. I had to deal with school. I had to deal with um, the studio work. I had to deal with my football. But I mean, I was just, yo, I still want to play football. Then, okay, let me know. Before I get to Project Fame. So one day I told my dad, I was like, I wanted to spend the weekend at my friend's place because music started being clearer than football. But
Mm-hmm.
I was still holding on to football.
Mm-hmm.
And so the plan was my friends and I were supposed to get a car, hire a car, and we would drive down to Lagos from Kaduna. So
Wow.
yeah, so I'd recorded like a couple of demos, and I've always been a fan of Storm Records, and
Mm.
yeah, so we reached out to them, got their contact, and they were like, "Okay, yeah, yeah, calm down, let's hear what you have." So
Mm-hmm.
myself, my friends, we literally bought like 10 CDs. Maybe like the same songs in one CD. We bought them in like 10 other CDs. Because we didn't want to take chances. We drove down to Lagos, and I mean, it was impossible. Like the people who invited us, we couldn't really literally have a meeting with them. 2 days. The plan was to spend 2 days. No, actually sleep one night, do the meeting and go. First day we
How
couldn't.
many
I mean,
hours?
it was a 14-hour drive for us.
Wow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my dad thought I was in my friend's place over the weekend. So we went first day, nothing happened. We're supposed to leave the second day. We decided to say, okay, we can't like if we stay in a hotel, we won't be able to buy fuel to go back. So
Oh,
we're just driving, and we just stopped someone and we asked them like, "Oh, please, when in Lagos, no they sleep like everywhere they always bubble." So the guy just sit there. He gets this place they call Obalinde. You just drive go there. That place always bubble. It always happens. So I was like, okay. So
wow.
so we now drove to Obalinde. We parked there. We literally did sleep. Um, it was bubbling. Like we just stayed in the car, and we literally slept in the car, and
Wow.
hoping that these people who invited us would reach out. So we were the next day we were supposed to head back. They now called us and they're like, "Yo, are you guys still around? Let's just hear what you guys have to say briefly." So we quickly just drove there. I mean, before we were there, we bought pure water. We just cleaned ourselves. There's something we call rub and shine. I don't know if
Rubbish.
yeah. So we just got water, cleaned our armpits, just washed our face, got deodorants, like we just played the music, and they said we'll get back to you. And like for us, we made it through. We're really excited, hoping for great things to happen, and nothing happened. So I mean, we got back. Life continues. We kept pushing, kept pushing. And one of my friends was like, "Yo, Praise, I know you've tried out a lot of auditions, but I think you should try out Project Fame." She knew I wasn't going to register for it because like I'd already given up on that music side. I was like, oh, let me just follow the football that I've always wanted to play, and yeah, I mean, I kept. Eventually gave in and just registered. So I traveled to Abuja to audition from Kaduna because I was staying in Kaduna then. Then I go in, audition my first song. They said, "Congratulations, you made it to the second round." I wasn't even excited because I felt it was one of those things that once you get it, they will now do their thing and now pick you out. So I was not really excited about it. And second round, I performed. I sang the songs I had to do. They said, "Congratulations, you made it to the third round." Okay, then it
You're
started
like,
dawning. I was like, this is not what I expected. And this was an audition of over 2,000 people, and they only wanted three people. The third round, they had already streamlined to 15 people. I wanted only three. I sang, and I made it three. I was like, okay, it's
what's going
crazy.
on here?
Yeah, I mean, what's going on? And eventually I made it to Lagos, made it to the house, and like for me, it was a dream come true being on
What season?
TV.
What season was this?
That was season one, Project Fame
Okay.
season one. Yeah,
Okay.
Inyanya won that season, and like it was. I'm like, yo, I'm here on TV, and I mean, I went into the show to win. I was hoping to win, but I didn't win. I came third. But my mom told me like, yo, don't worry, like this is a big achievement. Yo, like you won a car, won a millionaire. This is a big achievement for you at your age. Like this is good. So I mean, it uplifted my spirit, and for me, everything was good. Now, suddenly, my family got duped
Oh
of
wow.
a huge sum of money. Like it was bad. It
Wow.
was it was really bad. It was so bad that for one Christmas we had corn and coconut to eat for
Wow.
Christmas. It was
Wow.
bad. It was bad. So I mean, for me, like everything came at the right time, and I mean, I won a millionaire, and I mean, I had money, but family would always be first. Family would always be first, and it was hard for me because I know my family we needed this finances at that point in time. Also, on the other side, I needed to use this money to start my music. So what I did, I took all the money I had won and I gave it to my family.
Wow.
So I was home for like I literally did nothing for like almost a year after Project Fame. It was hard. It was hard. I'll be at home, I'll be in Kaduna, I'll be watching TV and I'll see my peers who we were on the same show on Star doing shows, big shows, performing. So one day I broke up crying, like I broke down crying. I didn't know my mom was behind me, observing. She left me. The next day she called me. She was like, "Yo, I noticed you were crying yesterday. You've sacrificed literally everything from your win for your family. But I want to let you know that this sacrifice you made God would never ever forget you for this thing you did. I said amen. The thing was still like I was still, I was really down, but I mean I just said amen to the prayer. So one time I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I need to go to Lagos. I was still working in the studio, trying to make some money, trying to make ends meet. In the studio, I would make that year. I would make in a month. I'll be able to make say 150,000 naira for the studio. Then my producer's fee was 500 naira. If I produce a song for someone, 500. But I mean, in a month, I could make like 150,000 naira for the studio, and my salary then was 15,000. You know, but I mean, I would work, but at the end of the month, the people who were in charge would tell me, there's no money. Meanwhile, they were actually they were flexing with the money. Like I saw, yeah, I saw them. Like I knew how they spent the money, and I mean, but I tried my best. I produced for some people. Sometimes the great production, like if I get someone who pays really well, for a production fee would be like 1,500, you know, and it would be a thing of joy. And another thing I did that my dad never really knew I did was I used to play at the bar. There's this bar called NAF Club in Kaduna. It's a bar where people go drink, like prostitutes. And I mean, everything
It's
is there.
yes.
Everything happens there. My dad never knew. Like I used to go there. Like I would go play drums. I used to play for a band. We play from 10 to 1 o'clock Saturday nights. Then on Sunday, I used to play drums in church. My dad is a pastor. I used to like my dad said, yeah, like Saturday now play from 10 to 1. Yo, then the next day in church, I have to resume my duty as a
So
drummer. Play.
where would you tell him you were going?
I have studio sessions, all night sessions. My my dad's head, he thought like I was always at the studio, but yo, like I was going to play somewhere. It was crazy. But I mean, it was part of my story, it was part of my hustle. And I mean, I told my dad I was going to Lagos, and he tried to convince me. He said you could go every 2 weeks, and I was like, Daddy, it does not work like that in this Lagos. Like it's not like
You have
it
to
doesn't
stay.
work like you have to stay. And he was like, okay. He gave me his blessings. Came to Lagos, literally not knowing really anybody. So I saw this dude who came to Kaduna for a youth Christian camp, and I was like, "Yo, please, can I just squat with you for a bit before I find my place?" And he was like, "Yeah, good, yeah, cool, it's fine." You know, so I squatted with him. Then, I mean, if I go into the street, people knew me. Like a lot of people knew me. Like praise here, everyone. You know, like I was famous, but I was still squatting with someone. I was sleeping in the parlor, and I'll wake up early, sweep the house, wash the plates.
Wow.
When he goes to work, I'll arrange his bed so that everything is okay out in the house. So there's no excuse for him to kick me out. Like let him just be happy
Wow.
with me, you know. Once I do that, I'll still go out, try to just make ends meet. It was hard. It was hard because it was not a reality I was expecting. You know, I just expected after the show everything fall in
Exactly.
place. People who made promises, I called them, yo, like
Of
nothing.
course. Of course.
Some didn't pick up my calls. Some I begged to perform at their shows. They'll tell me, yo, you're just a reality guy. You don't have any song yet, you know. And it didn't stop me from pushing. I kept pushing. And one day, the person who I was quoting he just called me. He was like, "Yo, we need to talk."
Wow.
Yo, so my heart started beating. But I had a feeling about what was about to happen. You know, like, and when we spoke, he was like, I think you might need to look for your own place." Yeah, I was confused. So I now I called my mom and told her. She was like, "Oh yeah, one of your uncles is actually in Lagos." I called my uncle. Yo, my uncle didn't answer me. This is my own uncle. It was crazy. So in my head, I was like, so I'm eventually going back to Kaduna, going back to where I thought I had left to pursue my dreams, you know. It was a confusing time. So one day I went out and I met this dude who I met in Abuja, and one of the auditions that I once attended that never made any headway. Actually, in that audition, it was crazy because I met a lot of people. I met Gospel on the Beats there,
Gospel on the
and
beat.
yeah, yeah. So now this guy's in Lagos. So he was like, "Yo, like, what's happening?" I was like, "Yo, bro, good to see you." And he was like, I told him, I was like, "Yo, I just came to see someone briefly for 2 weeks." Meanwhile, I'd already calculated that 2 weeks, and he was like, okay, no, I told him I was going to come back to Lagos. I was going to come back to Lagos, but I don't have a place to stay. I'm going to come back maybe like in 2 weeks. And he was like, "Yo, you could come to my place. You could come stay with me." I said, this is God. He had already arranged another
Arranged.
place for me to stay. No, this is where people who you really knew would just not
For your
be
hand.
there. Yeah, they'll just fall your hand. They won't be there for you. You try your best to ensure that you're good. You don't misbehave. Knowing you're in someone's space, you go out. The little money you get, you buy food for everybody. But I mean, I just guess he needed his privacy. My first friend, I guess he needed his privacy, and so I came for 2 weeks. I didn't go anywhere. I was still in that Lagos, but I had to act to my friend like I was going out, coming back. So I moved to my friend's place. God bless him. He housed me. Always making music, always producing. Whether it makes sense, whether it doesn't make sense, I was always working. So one day I got a call. I was sitting outside under a tree. I got a call, and guess what? It was MI. Um,
Yo,
I've been friends with Jesse Jacks for a long time. So when I sometimes I go to Abuja from Kaduna. So we recorded a song called Headlock. It was never released. It was an amazing and beautiful song, and it never got released. MI got to hear the song, and he would ask Jesse, "Yo, who's this guy?" So Jesse was like, "Yo, that's Praiz, the guy that was on that show." So he gave him my number. Emma called me, and my phone rang. I picked up. He was like, "Who's this?" I said, "Who's this?" He's like, "It's Emma." I was like, "Which Emma?" I said, "Emma, the rapper." I was so happy. I was so elated to get a call from Emma. Like, "Yo," she was like, "Please, there's this song. I heard the song you did with Jesse. It's so dope." I was like, "Thank you." He was like, "Yo, so I need you on the song. When can you come?" I was like, I said, "I can come now. Do you want me
I
to
can
come
come
now?"
yesterday
I
if
said,
you
I said,
want me
I
to
said, I said,
come
I'm not.
yesterday.
I said, "Me like this. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything, you know." And he laughed and he's like, "Okay, let's do it tomorrow." I was like, "No problem." Yo, I was so excited. Next day, I took a bike. I was staying at Toyin Street then. I took a bike to Ilupeju. Emma was staying at Ilupeju then, and we are going to his house, going to the studio. So it was like we introduced ourselves, had a good time. So it was like he played a couple of songs, and he was like, "So just tell me the one you feel, the one you feel would
You can vibe
you
to.
yeah you can vibe to." And for me, like I was actually vibing. I wasn't listening to the lyrics of the songs they played. I was just listening to the vibe at first. But I had to be smart. I was like, just let me listen to the one you had in mind when you called me. I think let me listen to that one. And he played Epic. Epic goes, "Sometimes when I think about the trouble I see, sometimes when I reminisce the places I've been, sometimes when I look around the face that I'm in, I realize there's only one option, and that's to win." And yo, that song actually was literally talking
Speaking to
about
you. Mm.
my was talking to me directly, and yo, I sang that song with everything. I sang it with every passion, with the best of my ability, and he put it out. It was on his album, and yo, people were like, "Yo, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this guy?" Like this was a period where like people had forgotten about who Praiz was. So
Mm.
this now reintroduced me. Like people were like, "Oh, this is that guy from
Project thing.
Project Fame." So like it now brought me back after a long time of wastage. And let me not call it wastage, a time of trial,
Mm.
a
Yeah.
time of trial for me, and um, I was so happy. I still kept pushing, try to get deals from people, and big shout out to Clarence Peters, Ill Bliss, because they've
Voice.
been, yeah, they're a strong and a significant part of my story. Um, they introduced me to the CEO of the person who signed me back then, and they gave me my first commercial to do, where we had people who were significant, who were pitching for that commercial, and they're like, "Nah, Praise you, you're going to do this. Don't worry. I know you. We know your person. We like how humble you are. Don't worry, we got you." And they were great support. And I mean, I got to do a commercial for TomTom where I met the CEO of Extreme Music. And for me, I was always ready. Wherever I went to, I was always with my iPod. I had
Mm.
songs I had recorded, ready to
Always
play for
ready. Ready.
whoever I come across. And after the commercial, I met the CEO, and he's like, "Yo, I heard you really killed the shoot." I was like, "Thank you, sir." He's like, "Yeah, nice one." So I was like, sir, please, I don't know. I know you're in a hurry, but please, I don't know if you can spare me
Excuse me,
2 minutes.
sir.
As
Big.
I, I, I said, "Sir, please, I don't know if you can spare me 2 minutes. I'm a musician. I was on Project Fame. I came third, but I have some songs. I don't know if you can listen to it." He's like, "Yeah, sure, sure, sure." He listened to it, and he liked it. It was
Shout out
different.
your CEO now.
Yeah,
Shout out your CEO.
shout out to Steve, Mr. Steve Abayeko. Thank you
The
for
realest man. Yeah.
thank you for being there when no one thought I would amount to something. So like he called me, was like, "Oh, you come to my office, let's let's talk." And I went to his office, spoke, I got signed, and
Wow.
now this was like another introduction to another level of introduction to reality. Um, so I've always wanted to be different.
Mm.
I've um, I've always wanted to stand out.
Mm.
I've never been one who would always want to be a crowd pleaser or just do what everybody's doing. And I was like, okay, this is the part I'm taking in the music industry. Praise your R&B. They're going to know you for R&B. You're going to represent R&B, and that's what you're going to stand for. I started pushing, started recording.
So if I give you
Those,
30 billion now to do, you won't do it.
I would do it with my own vibe.
I'm going, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I will do it when I do that one with that money. When I do it, I'll
I
now
will
do
take
like
off that
40.
money.
I'll now do 40 that will cover that quantity. Like so it was hard at first because you're trying to break into an industry where there is a dominant sound,
Mm.
but you're coming with this sound, this lover boy sound, and you're breaking. I kept pushing, like recorded my first single. People loved it because it was new, but
Fresh.
it wasn't for everybody.
Mm.
And like it was tasking. At one point, like I felt like giving up, but I kept pushing, I kept pushing, kept pushing. I worked on songs for people that were literally the biggest Afrobeat songs in the world. And I mean, I'm talking about songs like Kukere. I worked on Kukere too. I mean, you're part of such songs, but you don't want to do that kind of song, and you're still struggling in what you want to be known for, what you want to represent.
So how did you find that strength to stay true to to be authentic?
Patience. Funny enough, when I was a kid, I was the most impatient. I was the most impatient kid I could ever think of. But my mom would always, she would always hammer that word, patience. She taught me two things. She taught me to be patient. She also taught me to curb my temperament.
Mm.
Those were two things. Like I was when I was a kid, I was that kid who would easily just get angry, you know. And my mom would always say, "Ja, ja, 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 ja. See, you're barking like a dog. He's fine boy like you. You're just barking like a dog." And you that thing used to hurt me. But she'll now come back later. She's like, "I was just joking. You know you're
Oh
not
yeah,
though.
sorry,
Yeah,
sorry. So I take
yeah,
this
fine,
thing.
but just try. You know, when you're angry, try to hold yourself. Don't get angry. Don't do what your mind is telling you. That impulse, don't follow it. Just relax. Breathe in,
Mm,
breathe out. And over time, like it became part of me. Like I was the most patient person. It became who I was, you know. And for me, that period, patience actually pulled me through because I won't even lie to you. Like I was wondering what was happening. I was wondering
mm.
what was happening as, and so this was what happened. The next thing, I got a call myself from Cobams, and he was like, "Praise, where you?"
Combination.
Yeah, he's like, I want you to come to the studio." Yo, like Cobams is like he's someone I love, respect. He's a legend. You know, like
Yeah.
first time I met Cobams was in ABU Zaria way back, and I remember I sang one song I recorded. It's called Paradise. I see paradise in your eyes is what I see. So like, yo, it was a competition. It's like, yo, Praise, I see you're gonna go far. And this was way before Project Fame. This was way before everything, you know. And I mean, now I'm in Lagos trying to do my thing. I get a call from Cobams, and he was like, Praise, I want you to come to the studio. I'm working on Bez's album. Bez is my guy. And he was like, can you come? And I was actually on my way to Ibadan for one of those hustles where you will tell you come and perform. Will give you actually hustle for the performance. You beg them on your knees, literally begging for the performance. They pay you 150. But when you get to the venue, they will tell you we can't pay you that. We're paying you 70,000. All those kind of shows. So like I was like, so I'm on my way to Ibadan, but the show is in the evening. I'll just make a U-turn and come. So I was actually on my way to Ibadan. I made a U-turn, went to Kobam's place. We recorded Stupid Song with Bez. That song became the first African song to be on BET, opened the way for African music to be played on BET. And yo, like that was something very significant for me. And I mean, it gave me hope.
Wow.
It gave me hope seeing myself on BET, even when I had nothing, even when I never thought I would be on the world stage. You know, I mean, I was still patient, kept working, kept
So
working.
what happened to Ibadan?
No, so I mean, after I still made it to Ibadan. But same thing that I expected happened. I was supposed to be paid 150, and when I got to the venue, they told me,
The slash
sorry,
it.
we can't pay you 150. We have 70. Would you perform and take the 70 or just forget about it? Homo,
$70K.
a bed at hand is better than a million in the bushes. I collected it, performed like they paid me 1 million. Yo, like finished this gig, came back to Lagos. Time moved on, and I recorded a song called "Rich and Famous,"
Mm,
and I would say that was the song that. No, before then I recorded. I recorded O'Shea, right? I
mhm.
can't remember. I did O'Shea featuring Awilo, and I used that song to raise funds for a child who was born with a hole in her heart. And then with that song, we were able to raise 10 million naira. And I mean, then in my account, I didn't even have 20,000 naira in my account. You know,
Wow.
but I mean, it was easy for me to say, okay, 10 million. I can palm like 6 or 7 million. Then we'll not give the child
3 million.
3 million. But I knew what my purpose was.
Mm.
I knew what I wanted to stand for. I knew what my goal was. We gave the money, we gave everything to the child, and for me, I just felt that's where God just. It was one of the things I did that God just said, "Yo, like, even if you don't put out a song for a year, you will still survive.
Mm.
You will still make money in this industry, And then like, it happened, went by, and I recorded a song called "Rich and Famous," which for me, I look at that song as a prayer. When I become rich and famous, all these faces will know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar. Flashing lights and cover pages. All these faces will know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar. And I released that song. A lot of people didn't, when I released the song, a lot of people didn't think it was a Nigerian who sang the song. People loved the song. They played the song. When I put out the video, it was a rap, and my life changed, literally,
Wow.
musically forever. You know, I
Wow.
mean, this is one of
Wow.
my. So yeah, I
Wow.
mean, this is a few of my stories.
Man, listen, man, this is the purpose for this show because we want to pick nuggets. Instead of saying seven
Yeah,
ways of making you see your future bright and going to
yeah.
target your something like that.
I know.
People just go,
Practical.
oh, please. But we bring people to equip us with practical tools because
Yeah,
you've talked about opportunity meeting
yeah,
preparation. You were
yeah,
prepared because if
yeah.
you're not prepared, the opportunity will show up and you won't even
Yep,
recognize it.
you won't recognize it.
You won't recognize it. You are resilient.
Yeah,
You are resilient. And then you said something that I really want you to go back to and speak
yeah,
about because there are people
yeah,
right now, like we said earlier, this
yeah,
season is making them second guess themselves, their abilities, because everything they tie their identities to been taken away from them. So
yeah,
you said something, you said you were, let me use my own words, you
yeah,
were unconsciously expecting failure because you said you got there and it was going well. You were like, what's going on? If the second level went well, you were like, this is
yeah.
unreal.
It's good.
Because there's
Yeah,
something about a repeated cycle of
yeah,
defeat. It
yeah,
conditions you, and all you expect is defeat. And you can
yeah,
never experience what you don't expect. So I want you to speak to us, because you said one time you just, you made up your mind. How did you
yeah,
get to that point? Because there's someone now that needs to know that, listen, that wilderness, when you're in the wilderness,
yeah,
and things are dry, you keep
yeah,
expecting dry things. And when something good happens to you, you self
yeah,
sabotage because you're
yeah,
like, no, me, that's too good for me. Now, me, that's they've rejected here, rejected there.
yeah,
So talk to someone right now that is in a season where they've been rejected over and over and over again. How do they get out of that mindset so that when the good comes, they can
yeah,
embrace it?
yeah.
Embrace it.
So it actually unconsciously taught me to keep knocking on doors, even when I didn't think I kept knocking on doors, because I was used to, okay, sing. One of the funny things is at one of the auditions, after singing, one of the judges stood up and he was like, I've been sitting here for 7 hours and nobody has done this performance. Like in my head, I was like, I've finally made it. Results come out and you don't make it. So I mean,
Mm,
I knew I was good, but obviously nothing ever works. So
disappointments.
I was disappointed. I was always disappointed, you know. But again, I learned that good company, your company is very important. Surround yourselves with people who would push you to be a better person. So
Mm.
I didn't go for Project Fame because I made up my mind that I was not going. I was like, no, like this thing, I'm not. See, don't worry, I'm not doing this audition thing again. But I had a
Mm.
friend. Her name is Beverly Bauer. Shout out to you. And she's like, yeah, I know you've given up, but please, for me, just one more time, just give it a try.
Wow.
Please, just please give it a try. And it made me also analyze or actually decide to surround myself with certain kinds of people, serious minded people, focused people,
Mm.
people who would tell you the truth, and
Mm.
no people who are not afraid to tell you the truth.
Mm.
And she made me just reluctantly apply, and I did it. And it brought all this the success from getting into the house. So for me, company, the kind of people who you keep around, because take it or leave it, a time will come where you are you are exhausted.
Mm.
You are exhausted. Like you, the strength you've gathered for yourself, the ginger you've gathered for you've brought up for yourself is depleted. Like it's
You
like
won't
you don't
carry
have
it to
you know
the
motivation. But that's where like sometimes good company would help you, would encourage you, would inspire you to
Mm.
do things that you're tired of doing. And for me, I mean, I think just God just kept that person in my life to remind me of what my purpose should be. You know,
Mm.
so good, great company.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. So there's this term,
yeah,
they call it multi-potentialite, right? People that have the ability to do a lot of things. You
yeah,
said you were playing football because you were good at it. You were
yeah,
producing and then you were singing. At what
yeah.
point did you know which one to prioritize? Like at what point did you say, okay, it's this one or that one?
So for me, Project Fame just made everything. It just
Claire.
sealed every. Because I'd be playing football for like a long time. I played. Sorry, okay, hold this because I played football for like a long time, and yo, literally nothing was happening. Nothing was happening, and I get into Project Fame, and I win £1 million. I win a car. I'm like, always like, it's this tunnel that the light is showing at the end. So I decided, I was like, okay.
Mm.
And one thing is, for me, I've always have I've learned to follow my spirit. When I was a kid, when I was growing up, I never understood. It's let's call it discernment.
Discernment.
Yeah, like
Instincts.
yeah, instincts. I never when I was a kid, like never really understood it, and and when some things when some things want to happen and I don't follow what my spirit tells me or what my instincts tell me, I regret it. And every time I listen to it, it's always right. Every time. So I kept following what my instincts tell me. And like I decided to go with music and my life has never been the same. I've gotten things in my life I never ever thought or dreamt of. The blessings is just too much, So
Wow. Wow. At some point, you said you were sleeping on someone's couch that he eventually
Mhm.
kicked you out.
Yeah,
What? How
yeah.
did you? How did you not turn that into bitterness to say, "I will show you"? How did you channel that anger or that disappointment into something that made your life better?
No, um, how I don't. To be honest, I don't know how I did that because I was disappointed because when you do your best, you're
Mm.
staying with some. For me, the way I was brought up, if you are staying in someone's house, oh, you need to arrange yourself. You need to behave.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You need to do things. You need to do the chores. They don't need to
yeah,
tell you to do the chores. You have see it's your responsibility. They're housing you. Cause yo, you're not paying rent, you're not adding money to the rent. Like so I had to be the best person ever. But I mean it was heartbreaking. It was painful because all I knew was that I was doing everything right to make everybody happy just to get somewhere to stay. And this was someone I knew. But I mean, I just looked at it as life's challenge.
yeah,
And to be honest, I've seen the good side of life. I know what it means to have everything. Like my parents were able to provide anything we could ever imagine. And I knew what life was when you don't have anything. Like I've seen both sides of life, which makes me appreciate life in general. And I just felt like it was one of those things. It was one of those challenges. My mom would always tell me like, "Yo, like things will happen." Like I remember one time. So my dad used to be in charge of PAN, Peugeot Automobile Nigeria Limited,
mhm.
the whole of Nigeria. He used to be the head of spare parts in the whole of Nigeria. And I mean, for you to be then, Peugeot was the car for Nigeria back then.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
my dad was
504.
yeah, my dad was big. He was the biggest boy. And there was one man he helped. Like he helped this man. And fast forward in life, we going to the point where we got duped and things. My dad got duped, and it was a rough patch. My dad reached out to this man who he helped, and my dad helped this man and didn't ask him for anything. He said no. He didn't collect money. He didn't collect. No, just go. Our turn came, and my dad we spoke to this man like, please, we just need a loan. We need to pay our rent.
Wow,
That was, I can never forget that day. I saw my mom kneel before this man, begging this man, crying, begging this man to just please loan us money to pay our rent, you know. And what this man said was, it's not like he doesn't have the money, but he just can't.
wow.
Like for me, that's the height of disappointment.
Ingratitude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that. So for me, I've seen all these things, and I mean, I see this one. For me, it's something I was used to a lot of things. I was used to disappointments, which I think also made me strong, even when I didn't know it was making me strong. So I mean, when being kicked out of my friend's house, I looked at it as one of life's challenges, and you have to be strong to survive. You need to pick yourself up when you're down, and I mean, just restart the journey. Never be afraid to restart. And
restart.
for me that was it. That was it for
Wow.
me.
And you
Yeah,
mentioned earlier, wow, no, this is touching. You mentioned
yeah.
earlier that there was a Christmas that you had nothing but corn and coconut to eat.
Yeah, I won't forget that corn was hard. If it was even soft concept, that corn was hard, yo. Yeah, we ate corn till our tummies were full. Yo, corn and coconut. You know, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. But I mean, right now they're all stories. And for me, like I tell people, it's good to have stories because it makes you appreciate where you're coming from, where you are now, where you're going to, and your purpose in life, basically. So, like for me, it's right now is a thing of joy. Like it's amazing. But back then, yo, it wasn't good because I mean, see kids. Their parents got them Christmas clothes. They are going to the amusement park. They're just doing things. Oh, you're here biting hard corn,
And
coconuts, and water.
it's worse because if that was all you knew, it would have been good, right? You came from somewhere that had everything and then your dad lost it. So talk to someone right now that is in that situation. They just lost their jobs. They have to, well, it's like a hard reset. How
Yeah,
should they pull through this season? Because people are dying, people are committing
yeah,
suicide. What are
yeah.
you going to say to them?
Yo, like a lot of people take your leave it. Even back home, a lot of people are frustrated. Like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people are frustrated. In other countries, a lot of people have lost their jobs. But one
Mm,
thing I would say is, yo, like the end of something is the beginning of something new.
mm,
Like the end of something is not the end of the world. It's just the end of an era of something.
the
But
season. Mm,
it's the beginning of something new, something that would be better, something that would be bigger. So um, it would be hard because I mean, we're human beings. We have emotions, we have expectations. It would be hard to take it, but never give up. Don't give up. It's some people might say it's easier to say, but trust me,
mm,
I know where I'm coming from. It will be a challenge, but do not give up. Do not give up because what's coming, trust me, would be bigger and better. You trust me, it's gonna
mm,
be bigger and it's gonna be a blessing to you. So
mm. Amen. Amen to that.
yeah,
But how does my decision making play a role in all that? Because I can sit down here and see, oh, it's never going to be good. Or I can choose to see, oh, you know what? I can pull through. It's all my, mental power, my capacity.
yeah,
How did you get to that point that, listen, I'm going to choose right? Because you could have done any other thing.
yeah.
You could have done any other thing.
For me, I decided to keep knocking. I decided to keep pushing. I Once you've decided on what you want to do, if you say you're like, I want to be the biggest supplier of water, whatever you do, like, and things just go south. Pick yourself up, keep pushing, start again. Like for me, I decided not to give up, regardless of my disappointments, the failures. I knew, like this is where I want to be, and I can only get there if I channel this part, if I do this. So what I would say is keep doing what you do. Don't stop. For me, don't stop. Just keep. My decision was to keep going. Keep going. Once a door is locked, you could still open it. There are
Mm.
different ways. There are different ways to open the door. It's either you open it with a key, or you
Or you
kick it
kick it
down,
down.
or you kick it down. For me,
But
I
how do
kicked
I
it.
recognize praise? How do I recognize if that's a door I should walk away from? What if it's a door I need to walk away from? How do I tell the difference?
How do you tell the difference of a door you kick and a door you walk away from? Um, I think one sometimes you would know. You would know what you would know a door after a certain time, after certain trials. You would know there are some flags that will be there, either a red flag or a good flag, basically. Also, people around you, like that's why I would always emphasize on
Emphasize.
having the right people around you. Because I mean, some people also could be in the wrong business. Let's not also shy away from that side. You could also be in the wrong business, and I mean, if you have good people around you or people
Mhm.
who they could also tell you, like they could advise you, because like I've met people who love to sing, but they don't have amazing voices. But their passion for music is second to none. And I'm like, I know you love music, but I know you don't want to hear this, but I don't think music is for you. So now this boils down to you also being able to accept the truth, the bitter truth from people. especially when you know the people around you are people who are not yes men, people who are not afraid to tell you the truth. Now it's also up to you to listen.
To
You know,
listen. See, you
yeah,
see, the thing about artists is they never listen. You bring an
yeah,
artist to
true.
create a brand because you've been there and they feel, no, this is how I want to do it. And you're like, wait, this is how to do it. And they say, no, this is how I want to do it. You know? So, wow, listen, man. Let me see, how much time do we have left? Oh my God, 3 minutes. Whoa. Oh, oh, Praise, thank you so much. I want you to give
Well,
us like last words to anybody, trying to get themselves up, believe in
yeah,
themselves, go for
yeah.
it. How do I go, where do I go from here and how do I go from here? Tell somebody that.
Yeah, well, my last words or words of encouragement to people who are going through a hard time. My word is don't give up.
Don't give
Um,
up.
don't give up. Keep pushing, keep grinding. Like, because the day you stop might be the day that your that
To go.
success you've been looking for, it was supposed to come to you. But keep pushing, don't give up. It's hard now. It's a hard time for everybody, but trust me, with hardship comes success. That for
Somebody
sure.
said sing rich and famous.
Okay.
Sorry to cut you.
No, no, it's good. I will. So, stay positive. Having a positive mindset is very important. Always push away any negativity around you. You don't need negativity would cloud your progress. So always stay positive minded. And I mean, always pray because, you could work, but I mean, if God doesn't bless it, it's on your own. I don't joke with prayers, So yeah, someone said that's a sing rich and famous. Yeah.
Yes, so secret. Oh yeah, sing. We have 2 minutes.
When I become rich and famous, all these faces will know who I am, cause I'll be a superstar. Flashing lights and cover pages. All these faces will know who I am, cause I'll be a superstar. Cause mama, when your boy hammer, I go buy you Range Rover. Hey. La 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 la. I'll be a superstar. Hey.
Thank you so much, Praise. We love you.
Thank you, Bookie, for having
We
me.
love you, Praise. We love you,
I love
Praise.
you
Thank you
too. I
so
love
much
you
for
too.
sharing your
Hey,
story. And I had a lot of friends in KD. Them
are you
dollar.
serious?
Yeah, a lot of friends
Dollars?
in
Are
KD.
you serious?
Oh yeah.
Yo,
I promoted NATO and
Ali,
Lagos and all that. Oh,
Ali,
23
Ali,
seconds.
Ali Dolly.
Yeah, I
That's that.
promoted NATO in Lagos and all that. Yeah,
Yo.
those are all my boys. But thank you so much
Oh,
for coming. We
pleasure's
love you.
mine.
God bless you. God bless you. Thank you
God
so
bless you
much.
too.